God bless America. God bless. I don't peg him. We don't like butt stuff.
The last time we covered iDubbbz, his girlfriend was very mad at the commentary community.
Commentary YouTubers have no idea what it is to work a normal job, let alone put on a whole event, okay? You have no clue.
I push my fingers into my eyes.
Well, there's been some interesting developments as of late. Firstly, I didn't even realize how widespread the iDubbbz hate was. I mean, obviously I knew a lot of people didn't like him, but I didn't realize it was like this big of a deal. Because Cold Ones fans are flaming him right now.
Just listen to the flame. Just listen to the flame.
And Ian apparently also wants to do a documentary about commentary channels or something. And he named me specifically the Turkey Tom documentary. So all of this really starts with this Cold Ones video right here. For the unaware, Cold Ones is a show run by Max Mofo and Chad Anything for Views. And they basically do interviews, they review different brands of alcohol, different YouTuber products, stuff they buy off of Temu, and overall it's some pretty funny stuff. I've enjoyed some Cold Ones videos in my time. And back in the day, these guys used to collaborate with iDubbbz a lot. Some of the most memorable videos from the 2016 era of YouTube are like the cake series.
I got Max Mofo here, I got iDubbbz TV. We gonna bake another cake today, man. It's gonna be good. Give him a slap, boy.
Deadly Twister.
Nice channel growth. It's about as straight as your sexuality. Nice jawline too. Oh. You gay? No. Social Blade says otherwise. What?
Super Trash Bros versus Donkey Kang.
Yeah, f off, you filthy plumbers. Peach's pussy's mine.
These were all the videos that these guys collaborated on, and they were some of the most memorable videos of 2016 to 2018. So they decided to run it back for old time's sake. And the video was not that good. Max and Chad were fine, don't get me wrong. I mean, they were their typical selves, but Ian just seems very out of it during this whole video. Like, it seems like he doesn't even want to be there.
Your favorite kind of
Dessert.
Like, what's
ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream.
Yeah, corn.
How boring is ice cream from the tub?
It's just kind of awkward. I almost feel bad for the guy. I feel like he's depressed or something. And this is the main criticism of the video, that Ian feels very out of place. He's very low energy. The few jokes he does crack during the video are very unfunny, but the comments on the video, the jokes that the fans left, are absolutely fucking brutal. You guys are lucky he could fit you in between his wife's tattoo appointments.
Yeah, I talked to Max about the wedding situation. When he was first sending out invites, I was like really uncertain of how that was going to work out because I had some kind of important plans here in the States, so.
It's so sweet of you two to invite your lesbian aunt on the show. She didn't contribute much, but she seemed to enjoy watching you two have fun nonetheless. Only one guy was missing for the whole gang to be reunited again. Well, actually two, because Ian wasn't there. That's just a robot with Ian's skin. You ever throw up in your mouth just a little bit? Ugh. Oh, that's gross, bro. My stomach tastes like shit. Bro looks like he's actually banned from having fun. This is how a dog that's been ruthlessly abused his whole life acts when he first enters a new loving home. This is like the weird cousin is back after years of him being away from family functions because of his drug and alcohol abuse. Does iDubbbz even know he's there? It took him 2.5 minutes to say one sentence in this video. Man, iDubbbz is a shell of his former self. Sheesh, that poor editor is working his ass off trying to finesse this one. This is how I imagine the back member of the Human Centipede would interact if they all had a reunion. He's legit a husk of himself. No energy, no charisma or confidence left. Super depressing to watch, to be honest. This feels like when your mom forces you to play with a friend you haven't seen in years. It's like bro came back from a mental hospital and got a lobotomy to remove any and all emotion. There must be so much unusable footage. Bro had flashbacks when Max said, "We're gonna shave your head later." How did Ian seem less happy and energetic in this video than in a video where he shaved his head and ate a cake containing said hair?
I don't like this video anymore. I want to go home. Well, that was a fun time, and it was a fantastic cake. Isn't that right, Max? Isn't that right? Wait,
Something always
iDubbbz?
brings me back to you.
Honestly, I thought Cold Ones would be happy to see their old parasocial friend back after all this time, but I guess not. It seems like the whole OnlyFans thing, and not like the presence of his OnlyFans girlfriend, but the way he responded to it, the Sam Hyde stuff, him apologizing for the content cops, the entire saga has really taken a toll on the shared audience he may have had with Max and Chad. And now this audience really just thinks he's a loser. They absolutely hate him. And I mean, honestly, I feel bad for the guy. I know I shouldn't. I know, it's his own doing, but at this point, the iDubbbz stuff is just sad to watch. I was a huge fan of his videos back in the day. I have to respect him for the time that he was the GOAT. The greatest white boy to ever do it, some may say. But it seems whatever goodwill he may have had with that audience is completely gone at this point. And it's hard to totally blame them.
Another thing that ended up kind of guiding the path a little bit, I did not like the interactions that I had with fans. There were quite a few human beings that I interacted with.
In person?
Yeah, in person, that just sucked. They just sucked because I attracted a lot of people who sucked. Some people were, as I described earlier, were very much like antisocial, weird basement dwellers.
Shout out to the basement dwellers out there. Listen, the Tom Dark channel is a home for you guys. I like to have myself a big basement, a nice big girthy basement even. Double XL Durex basement. You guys can go live down there. I've got a computer loaded up with all your favorite games. Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead, League of Legends. I've got a fridge just lined up with Mountain Dew. I've got a bunch of Takis down there. I've got a bunch of these things because Zins are out, so I've got On. A little disappointing, I know, but I've got On. You guys can come to my house, come to my basement, and grind League, screaming gamer words at your opponents with me and I'm Alex's ex-girlfriends who are also down there.
I'm gonna bash your head against the wall with a brick if you don't shut the
And so after seeing this, iDubbbz ended up reflecting on it and talking about it on his podcast with Anissa. And here, Ian seems to acknowledge that there's a decent reason some of his fans are pissed off at him.
In my mind, it's just like really bad communication on my part, because I started doing things that I would say are out of character for me, like me just going on the Anthony Padilla podcast. There was a line in there that sounded really harsh, and it was yeah, when the basement dwelling person comes out and sees their favorite YouTuber, they say a slur or something.
Because you were specifically talking about the fans that had come up to you and said a slur to you in public.
Yeah.
That's who you're specifically talking about. So when you say I was attracting basement dwellers, it makes a blanket statement that everyone who watches your stuff is a blanket or is a basement dweller, rather than you are attracting a lot of people, but with some of the stuff that you were doing, especially because there was satire and other things, you were also beaconing out to the basement dweller who comes out of their room once every month, who would say a slur to someone and think it's funny.
Yeah.
That's what there was the disconnect.
Yeah, exactly.
I just have to ask, though, who are these basement dwellers? Who are these people they're talking about who are basement dwellers and come out once a month to say a slur in public? I've never met these people. I don't know who they are. There can't be that many of them, right? There can't be that many apart from me. Does Ian think that everyone who found his old content funny is a basement dweller? Is that what he's saying? I mean, I know on the internet there's kind of a very spoken law, thou shalt not slur, but I know there are plenty of normal people who rip a gamerism now and then when playing video games with friends because it's inconsequential and it doesn't fucking matter. It's not hurting anyone. I don't know who these N-bomb droppers were that ran into iDubbbz at Walmart. I have no idea who they are, but please, if you're out there, if you are the reason that he completely lost his mind, that it completely melted out of his ears, please inform me. I would love to have a word with you about subscribing to my channel.
And I really wasn't trying too hard to even correct that when it was coming out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm just I already felt out of my element talking about a lot of the shit that I talked about on the Anthony Padilla podcast.
It's your first time ever publicly talking about any of it.
Yeah, in an honest, out of character way. Yeah. And so yeah, it was hard, and I was like, oh man, I don't feel like I'm at all ready to be making or issuing corrections or anything like that. If I've it up this bad already.
I think a lot of the main problem with this is that firstly, Ian stopped making good content. I can count on one hand the amount of videos I've enjoyed from the iDubbbz channel in the past few years. I mean, for a while he was barely even posting, so the guy wasn't putting out good content. And when people did hear about iDubbbz, when they heard the name iDubbbz in the news, so to speak, it was about this whole apology tour that was going on. He did it on Anthony Padilla's show. He did it on H3H3's show, the H3 podcast, where they condescended the audience in a very crazy way.
Well, I think people have the same problem with me. Is it the same I have a problem with you? Yeah. Is that we both used to be like edgy comedians and we were a part of the larger commentary community. And as we've aged, we've realized that, you know, you want to conduct yourself differently.
Well, when you start interacting
caring
with the actual world and you're not in your bedroom creating like sitting in your bedroom for 19 hours creating a hit piece on someone, basically, and you actually interact with human beings, you sort of realize like that isn't really real life.
And this is totally ridiculous to see because Ethan, for example, is still a very edgy guy. He just doesn't make jokes at the expense of minorities. Now he makes jokes at the expense of different minorities, like Jewish people. Or like what he said about some non-minority groups like, you know, Ted Cruz, he's not a minority group, he's a senator. Or what he said about the NRA building.
Actually talking about there at the NRA meeting that's today in Texas. Someone should... Is it bad advice to say, like, go outside the house and just...
Yes.
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 See how you like guns outside your house. Get a fake tactical nuke. So hard. I hope his wheelchair hits a big old rock. You know he's in a wheelchair. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just hope that someone puts a stick in his fucking wheelchair and he tumbles out of his seat and he goes, "Help me back into my chair." I'm just saying, if you're gonna shoot thing,
don't make it.
If they show, if there was a at Walmart and then
it.
Wait, stop.
There was a at Walmart. This is very insensitive. Stop making this joke.
And
There's
then
literally a shooting at Walmart today.
Don't finish. Finish it when it's cutting out.
Let me finish. And then they showed me that video and said this is what they were doing the day before. I'd be like, that's horrible, but I get it.
Or when he produced the legendary clip of him laughing at Cutie Cinderella.
If you are able to look at women who are not selling themselves or benefiting off of being seen sexually.
You're a monster, dude.
And I think this is hilarious. But Ethan has this inconsistent policy of laughing at this kind of stuff when it's about the right people. But then he's like, hey, you cannot joke about this thing. You can't joke about that, bro. Hey, bro, that's not a very cool joke for you to joke about. That was too far. That was over the line. In the words of iDubbbz, either all of it's okay or none of it's okay. You can't just say you're reformed now and then continue making these kinds of jokes. It's a huge double standard. And the saddest part is that Ethan did this whole in-depth apology over this where he was like literally acting like he hit someone with his fucking car when all he did is laugh at a clip of Cutie Cinderella crying over the AI thing. Like, I feel a little bad for Cutie Cinderella. You know, I can imagine if I had a girlfriend that if that girlfriend was being deepfaked into, I would be like, wow, that's fucking shitty. That sucks. But realistically, you can still laugh at it. You can't get mad at anyone for laughing at a fucking joke.
It was not good because, one, I actually really respect Cutie. I think she's a really talented and great creator. I think that the pain she's experiencing is 100% valid. And that's the part that kind of sucks for me the most is that someone who I actually really want to support may have felt worse on an already difficult situation because of my careless and very, very inappropriate and gross and stupid behavior, right?
So if you're going to apologize for this, why not apologize to the Jewish people you offended with your joke about Ben Shapiro? Many questions here. And to be clear, I think all of this is funny. I think you should be able to say whatever you want. And I also think you should be able to joke about sensitive subjects. But I don't want to simultaneously hear Ethan joke about one thing and then morally grandstand about everything else. It's just ridiculous. But iDubbbz never called him out for this. Hassan definitely didn't. Instead, Hassan had iDubbbz on his stream to somehow claim that the old Content Cop videos were anti-right-wing propaganda.
It didn't seem like you were, you know, any different than any other content creator on YouTube in that same era. As a matter of fact, you were probably like more towards the center or left than most content creators of that era, because you were shitting on the most like right-wing content creators of that era. Maybe not like officially positioning yourself as that, but it did feel like, I mean, you were like, you dunked on Keemstar, Rice Gum. Like, obviously, these are apolitical people, but they're still like very heavily slanted to the right. Leafy, another person like that. Like these, and some of them have come out about their position, come out with their political positions. But like, I would say that they were still like very much like the attitude that they resemble was very much like right wing. You know what I mean?
No, I actually don't know what the you mean at all. Honestly, whatsoever. I have no idea what you're trying to say. Did Hassan even watch these videos back in the day? You can't in one breath be like, well, obviously all the people you're talking about were apolitical, but also they resembled a right-wing attitude. What does that even mean, man? It's Rice Gum. How is Rice Gum right-wing? Leafy, I mean, I guess he made anti-SJW content at the time, but I never read it as very political. It was just like, look at this dumb blue-haired feminist who's screeching at the top of her fucking lungs. Let's make fun of them. As for Keemstar, I don't really see him as a particularly right-wing person either. More of a dark merchant hiding in the shadows. An Italian man from the depths of the jungle. He's stalking his prey, and you better not allow yourself to be in his sights, because he is the fastest man on earth.
Fast as fuck, boy. Still fast as fuck, boy. Come get some. I don't think you have any idea how fast I am.
I hope this kind of sentiment, this kind of discussion does amount to Ian making some better content. I don't care that much if he says slurs anymore. Like, I think it's dumb to condemn everyone else who is edgy when he made buckets of money off of it for years and years. But like the Airsoft Fatty video, that wasn't really an edgy video, right? But he still did a good job on that one to me. More of that, please. Please. Ian also stopped by the iDubbbz subreddit to say thank you to all the people who have been supporting me. Seeing all the posts defending me and Anissa means a lot. It's really difficult to try and make regular content when I'm worried about putting out random fires. I'm trying hard to find my new footing on YouTube, and I appreciate y'all being patient. I've been grinding on some bangers, and I'm confident I'll find my swag path. It's just gonna take some time. And you know, despite everything, I don't wish the worst for iDubbbz and the iDubbbz brand, for Ian. Even for, you know, Anissa. I don't really like Anissa, but I don't want her like life to come tumbling down any more than it already has, at least. I don't want to prey on his downfall. I want to prey on his upfall. Let's see some good content here, boys. Come on. It's been too long, for the love of God. It used to take like 30 years for entertainers to become washed up, boring shells of their former selves. And now it takes like 5 years, if even that. Now, one of the comments on this Reddit post is really, really funny, and I just needed to highlight this. iDubbbz is getting because he's no longer 16, isn't using edgy humor constantly, and is married to Anissa. Anissa is constantly getting for having an OnlyFans account. It's a bunch of idiots that can't handle the fact that he's more mature than what he was 10 plus years ago, and can't handle the fact that they'll never have a significant other who's attractive enough to be able to make money online through various means. And this is like a take I see a lot. It's kind of the average take of the modern day iDubbbz defender, and it's just completely wrong. First of all, iDubbbz is 33 years old right now. So when the first Content Cop came out, he was already 24. He was in his mid-20s, almost 25. I'm not saying you can't grow and change past the age of 24, 25, right? But this was never like a teenage immaturity thing. The dude was old. He, when the first Content Cop came out, was 3 years older than I am now. So just stop this narrative. I don't think people need him to use edgy humor constantly, but they certainly don't want him to call out everyone else for it or make it seem like they're bad people for enjoying that content, which is exactly what he did. And look, I don't even really care about the whole OnlyFans thing, I really don't, but to act like the main issue people have with the OnlyFans thing is that they're jealous over Anissa being so hot, I mean, that's just completely ridiculous. You do know there are people who have a principled position on pornography being bad, both for the creators and for the consumers, right? You can disagree with that, but to act like the only reason anyone is critical of it or makes fun of it is just jealousy is absolutely ridiculous and very dishonest. Apparently, someone is also claiming to have been banned from the iDubbbz subreddit for making a pretty simple, benign comment saying he should stop caring about the hate. Pretty cringe if you ask me. iDubbbz moderators, you guys are cringe lords. Cringe. Now, the documentary content Ian made is, in my opinion, the only good content he's put out since he stopped doing Content Cop and Bad Unboxing. iDubbbz Complains was a series he had for a bit. I found most of those pretty boring. The squirrel videos were not really my thing. He did a video recently where he like made an arcade cabinet or something. I just didn't care. I'm sorry. And on his Patreon podcast, he was having a little chat with Anissa, and they were floating around the idea of doing a documentary about a commentary YouTuber. Hey, whoa, that's me.
Oh, would you do
documentary?
A documentary on a commentary YouTuber?
If there was anything to get out of it, I feel like it would be. I mean, I guess shadowing them and just asking questions would be fine, I guess.
And you can instantly see Ian just think in his mind, what you just said, Anissa, was retarded. And it makes sense because most commentary YouTubers, myself included, okay, have very, very boring, mundane lives. We make videos about other people in our bedrooms. What is there to really film there? Apart from my diaper collection.
I mean, I guess shadowing them and just asking questions would be fine, I guess.
The goal, I feel like, of these, or the theme of these documentaries have been, like, humanizing people.
Right.
Like, you know, going and meeting people and humanizing
them.
And I think a lot of people are probably really curious on, like, what is going on.
Right.
Listen, I'll tell you guys the average schedule of a commentary YouTuber if it's their full-time job. They wake up, they roll out of bed, they goon for 3 hours. No edging allowed, only gooning for the commentators. They check Twitter and Reddit to see what people are talking about. They turn on their microphone and they blabber for 20 minutes and then spend the rest of the day gooning. And then they go to bed. That is it. Like, that's it, bro. It's nothing. There's nothing to film. Like, it's so boring, bro. I have to be honest. You're not going to get some super exciting revelatory thing. Nobody cares. And Ian knows that. You can tell his reaction is automatically like, yeah, I think that's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, for the ones, like, if there was one that was, like, more open and willing to, like, just hang out for a week, I mean, that could be a good option. And to be honest, like,
it's the trust that's the issue.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to, like, gain trust.
But I want to put it out there to all that I'm sure there's some commentary YouTubers watching this, because I know that they're
around
source of food.
Yeah.
We don't have any ill will towards you. So if you want to hang out for a documentary, we'll do it. We're not we're too old to be angry about it. So, you know, you don't have to have your guard up.
Yeah.
For us.
I mean, are you sure about that?
Commentary YouTubers have no idea what it is to work a normal job, let alone put on a whole event.
Look, bro, just say you hate them. It's fine. They won't be particularly offended. You already said it.
It would be even more interesting, I think, if it was like a faceless commentator.
True.
Who then basically says, like, yeah, I'm willing to show my face for the sake of this documentary. And that will be like my face reveal to make it like kind of an interesting thing and give it a little bit more like punch.
Yeah.
Or it's like, just like, I'm good for all of this, just blur my face the whole time.
Oh,
you know, for the whole thing.
Interesting.
Because I think that would still be interesting, because they would basically be admitting like, yeah, I don't want my identity known.
Yeah.
That's important to me, because a lot of them use that as kind of the excuse or the reasoning why they won't show their face is because safety, being anonymous, like you receive death threats, people can't, whatever.
Fire me from my job.
Right, like that.
But now Anissa's doing this thing where she's like, actually, I played 5D chess. I knew I was going to get clipped, and that was the intention. I was like, okay, I'll say something dumb, and then I'll get clipped. And it's like, whoa, you are smart beyond your years, wise beyond your years at 30,000 years old, 30,000 years of age. You are a genius that nobody even could have predicted the size of your brain rapidly expanding inside of your skull. It's unreal how smart you are, Anissa. I mean, people online can be totally insane. I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be anonymous, because people will come after your job. I mean, I was anonymous for a while because people can be fucking disgusting. They'll try to mess with your family, your workplace. They'll find your address, stuff like that. Like, it's not cool. And they'll do it just because they don't like what you have to say. But I almost feel like what Ian wants here is like a basement dweller type that we talked about earlier to find and film their sad, miserable life, right? The majority of YouTube people are not this like dysgenic freak who lives with their aunt and is slowly getting poisoned because she has Munchausen by proxy. They're just like a boring guy. They probably like anime and video games, and then they make a decent living off of making fun of people online. It's not super enthralling. No offense to most commentary channels out there. Maybe all of you guys are actually jumping out of planes every day, saving kittens from fires and signing autographs, but I just don't really see it. But you never know.
If we obscure their face the whole time and just use their voice, like what more, you know, like even if we also don't say specifically where they live, you know, I think there is an avenue, as long as there's trust there, that we're still showing how they live.
I mean, this would just be so nothing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now the moment you've all been waiting for, the shout out. Your shout out, my shout out. We're in this together, boys and girls. I'm inclusive.
So you're thinking more of like a Torquey Tom.
Yes.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god! He said our name! Oh my god. Turkey Tom, Turkey Tom, Turkey Tom, Turkey Tom. Oh my god. So I was thinking about this a little bit. I showed this on stream already, and at the time I kind of mulled over the possibility of doing this kind of video. They're floating the idea, I guess, of doing one about me. So the question becomes, would I let it happen? Would I invite them into my home, into my abode? And my gut says it would be a bad idea. My gut really does say that. But some part of me wants to just like see what would happen. Some part of me wants to just see what, like, how it would go, you know? They say it would be impartial. They say they wouldn't want it to be a hit piece. Maybe it wouldn't be a hit piece, you know, maybe I'm wrong. But even if it was, maybe it would be good content. I don't know. Maybe it would be interesting content. It would be too funny to pass up. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it might be interesting. It might be good content. But honestly, the more that I've thought about it since then, it's just like, man, my life's boring. I'm sorry. I mean, it's exciting for me, but for anyone watching from the outside, they would just think this guy sucks. Literally my daily schedule, almost every day without fail, is I wake up, I go to the gym, I eat, I'm on my computer for 8 hours, I eat, I watch TV and go to bed. Like that is my life. That is it. That is fucking boring. I don't know how interesting a documentary about my life would be, or any other commentary YouTuber. Like, what do you think Boblax does all day? Like, he reads tweets. Like, what does he think he's gonna get out of this? Nick DiOrio, he just eats. he can't stop. I guess there's like Cody Ko or Ludwig or something, but I mean, what do they really do? It's like the same shit. Actually, I bet Ludwig's life is kind of interesting, okay? Not to glaze the Ludwigger here, okay? But he does have a relatively interesting life. He had that company Off-Brand. He's got his streaming. He's going to these events and stuff. He probably has an interesting life, but he's not even really a commentary YouTuber. He's got a commentary channel, but he's more of like a stream guy. Now, of course, there's always the possibility that this is a hit piece type thing, and that did cross my mind. But when I was thinking about this, I was like, I'm not really worried that my opinions publicly would be different from what they are privately, because I'm the same person, really. There's no big take to expose me for or something. Like, I'm pretty public about my poop maxing stuff, about my diaper maxing, so realistically, there's nothing super interesting there either. So to me, it just seems like it would be kind of boring. Like, you film me going to the gym, you film the back of my head while I'm on my computer all day, messaging people on fucking Discord, recording videos. Like, it's not that exciting. It's not that enthralling. I did one of these documentary things on a content creator recently, but what made it so good is that Meowdalin is like super weird. She's super unorthodox, super eccentric. She's not an ordinary person. Like, she sleeps in a dog crate. I walked her at the park. That's out of the realm of what's typical, right? That is. But for the average YouTuber, like, they're just not that interesting. They don't do that much. Boblax said he would be down to do a documentary. No offense, Boblax, but the most interesting thing about your private life is probably your box Tesla. That thing sucks! Then your boy A Cheeto said he would be down to do it as well.
iDubbbz recently announced on his podcast that he would like to do a documentary shadowing a commentary YouTuber. And I just want to volunteer as tribute real quick and say I would be 100% down for that. I'd be able to fly to wherever you would want to record this. And it seems to me like he's very interested in getting into the mind of people who make this kind of content. And that could be an interesting video. I'd be down. I could commit to like a week or however long you would need to produce this kind of content. You did say faceless commentary channel. My face is public, but most of my videos don't have my face in it. I would be down. I could pay for flights and stuff, but I think you'll come to figure out that, you know, the dissecting you want to do on someone like me as a commentary YouTuber, maybe you'll be surprised, but we're not like the basement dwelling freaks that you think we are. You'd maybe be surprised by that. But yeah, I'm down. You have me blocked on Twitter right now, so everyone in the comments go at him. Yeah, let's get this going.
Good day, and welcome to my formal offer to iDubbbz Studios on note of his documentary about a commentary YouTuber. I know that iDubbbz believes that all commentators are deranged basement dwellers who simply have nothing to offer this world, but I, a distinguished individual... believe that I can clear up the misconception that all commentary YouTubers are basement dwellers, as I, an intellectual Englishman, can surely show you the way. I'm also not wearing any pants.
Nick DiOrio did a little glazing of me here, saying he thinks I would be the best candidate for the job. I mean, look, I understand what he's saying. I do have a very big penis, and that should be noted. And iDubbbz is free to measure it, but...
That's quite big. impressive.
That being said, I just feel like it would be a pretty boring video, honestly, outside of that. Overall, I think what iDubbbz should do if he wants his career to move forward, if he wants to push past all this stuff, is just make the most interesting content possible, whether that is doing a documentary about someone actually interesting that's not a commentary channel, or whether it is, I don't know, I mean, it could be anything. It could be anything. It just can't be what it is right now. For the love of God! Major shout out to the fan art of the week. You made me look very handsome. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the comments and support on the videos. I will see you all in tomorrow's video where I teach you how to stick 5 of these guys, 5 of these 8 milligram citrus ons in your urethra. Bye.